did they invite us all to their wedding? And why have we all come? Why have we traveled so many miles to be here? Some of us across the world. It's not just for the free food and the great party, although that definitely helps. Everyone here would have come to this ceremony even if there was no reception. And it's not just to hear your vows, although it is very important that you're going to make your vows in front of all of us. No, the real reason that we are all here today is because we truly want your marriage to be successful. And we all promise to help you in any way that we can. By being here, we are all confirming that we fully support this marriage from the moment it begins. And we all think that you are making a wonderful choice to pledge your lives together. We all promise to support your marriage. Please take us up on that promise. Include us in the happy times and lean on us in the tough times. Never hesitate to ask us for help. Never hesitate to call us to share good news. Promise to always make the time to support. This promise of support from your friends is very important, but our support alone won't make this marriage successful. You must promise to truly support one another. This will often mean putting aside what is best for you alone and instead doing what is best for the both of you. What is best for your marriage and for the life that you are building together. I've been lucky enough to know the two of you since you first met and have watched your relationship grow, and I can say from first-hand experience that you already support each other in this way. Both of you are kind, thoughtful, and compassionate. You consider the other person's feelings before making decisions. You know how to bring out each other's strengths, and you know when to stand back and let the other take the lead. You truly function together as a team. Taryn, you have said that Robert just makes things. I take this as a real compliment. It's the beauty of your relationship and support for one another. You are both self-sufficient, well-traveled, successful people, but your lives are even better together than others. A marriage just isn't about supporting each other. You have to be truly happy in your lives together. Said another way, a successful marriage requires falling in love many times, always with the same person. The vows you're about to take may make that a little easier. However, the only way to continually fall in love with each other, to make this last over the long run, is to be true to yourself and act like yourself. Don't try to act a different way or communicate differently once you're married, because that can't be sustainable. You must be able to say anything to each other. Never be afraid to speak honestly about your feelings. In this regard, I would look to your parents as your role models. With nearly 90 years of marriage between them, Mr. and Mrs. Jeffries and Mr. and Mrs. Pierce have clearly figured out how to continuously fall in love with each other as their lives have changed throughout the years. There will be some tough times. How do you get through it? Many years ago, Amy and I attended my grandparents' 60th wedding. My sweet little old grandmother told me quite a story about her life as a newlywed. My grandmother and her grandfather were out driving together when they got into such an argument that my grandmother rolled down the car window, took off her wedding ring, threw it out the window, and into a cornfield. This shocked me. I had idealized their marriage as perfect and smooth sailing, but of course, nothing was really like that. She couldn't remember what they were actually arguing about. 60 years later, it didn't make any difference. What she did remember is that eventually they calmed down, apologized to each other, and then spent the next hour on their hands and knees together, crawling through the dirt in the cornfield until they found her ring again, which she still wore 60 years later. And that was why their marriage lasted. Taryn and Robert both have so many wonderful qualities that I'm sure you will be able to stay true to your values and fall in love with each other over and over again. You both really love each other now at the beginning. You are generous and respectful to each other, which will keep you in love going forward. You may have noticed that Taryn and Robert often call each other by their full names, strung together like one word. Hey, Taryn Jeffries. Hey, Robert Pierce. I think this just shows you how much they love each other and respect the whole person. Shortening their names to something like TJ and Rob would just leave out so many things that they love about each other and about the whole person. They're just right for each other exactly as they are. While their titles may change today to husband and wife, I'm sure that to each other they will always be Taryn Jeffries and Robert Pierce. Now, I'm not a religious person, but I am a physicist. It's quite a line. And I can appreciate a miraculous thing, like this beautiful day we're having. So, well, it's kind of set, but for the few of you in the back who actually have the sun, for Landon, look up and feel the sun shining on your face. That light came from the center of the sun, where two protons bounced around for 5 billion years before finally getting just the right kick to join together. The energy they released bounced around for another 100,000 years before finally leaving the sun. Only one out of a billion photons was lucky enough to reach the Earth. And of those, fewer than 1 in a trillion was lucky enough to shine on Landon's face. So I can appreciate how lucky and beautiful it is when the stars aligned and you met and fell in love. Born hundreds of miles apart, Robert in Louisiana, and Taryn here in Massachusetts. Each move, each degree, each job, eventually bringing you both to the south. The first lucky date on St. Patrick's Day, and even luckier the second day. When you both arrive at a restaurant called Sushi Avenue, only to wait. Am I being stood up? How lucky that you met in an age of cell phones, able to call each other up and discover that there are actually two Sushi Avenues. And still meet each other and have a second date. Fast forward a few years. Taryn returns from Rwanda. Robert gathers the courage to propose to her. He did it nearby in Cambridge's Guppy Park. Probably haven't even heard of it because it's the size of a postage stamp. But Robert didn't feel the need to go to some exotic location. He knew that it was better to start their biggest adventure of their lives in the tiniest, silliest little park right here in Cambridge. Taryn and Robert, may you always appreciate